By being busy, you fill up your life so much that you also have an excuse for never, ever, ever having the time to do the thing that scares you.
If you feel like you're crazy busy, super busy, but then you look back and you say, what did I actually do this week? If that's you, then this message is for you.
So the key number one to extreme productivity is you need to be absolutely ruthless when it comes to the outcome.
Rise and shine, it's espresso time. I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Mel Robbins. Also, if you want to learn from other successful women entrepreneurs, check out my 254 Girl Boss series. It's free. The link to join is in the description below.
You might want to get honest with yourself. Like, instead of doing this I want to be a millionaire, I want to do this. Do you really? Because you can make it happen. You actually can. Look at all the idiots that are making money. You can make money. So let me talk to you about Dan. So Dan was the first person in Take Control that I coached, and he is a super successful guy. He loves what he's doing right now. He is, I think, the world's best phys ed teacher. He's a total pro at it. He loves his students. He's been doing it a long time, but he is starting to panic about the next chapter of his life. He's starting to panic about the fact that, you know, time is ticking and I love what I do, but I'm not sure this is my true calling. How do I figure it out? How do I make sure that I don't wake up at the age of 70 or 80 or 90 and realize that I never actually went for the thing that I really love? And a lot of times going for the thing that you really love doesn't mean quitting your job. It means figuring out how to be more focused and deliberate in your life so that you can start to add in incremental progress every day on inching forward that side hustle, that passion project, that book you've always wanted to write. And so one of the first takeaways from Dan's coaching session is busyness. And we take a look at the fact that, yeah, there are a lot of you that are really busy because you got a lot going on. And then there is the type of busyness that we keep in our lives because by being busy, you convince yourself that you're in control. By being busy, you fill up your life so much that you also have an excuse for never, ever, ever having the time to do the thing that scares you, which is to write the book, start that passion project, work on your side hustle. And so you got to be very careful if you're somebody who feels like you're busy all the time to understand that busyness can become a habit. And busyness can become your biggest excuse.
Most people are crazy busy but don't get anything done. If you feel like you're crazy busy, like you barely have any enough time for yourself, that you get to the end of the week and you know you've been hauling ass all week long, you've been busting your face in, you've been working and working and working, super busy, but then you look back and you say, what did I actually do this week? If that's you, then this message is for you. You're busy, but you're not focused. And shifting your life begins with shifting your priorities. So I used to pride myself on responding to email ASAP, quickly. Like, you send me an email, 30 seconds to 60 seconds later, you would get my response. I prided myself on, like, that's good service. That's what you should do as an entrepreneur, right? Like, people communicating with you, you want to send it back to them quickly. I hated having to wait on people, so I didn't want to be that for others. So I had all my notifications turned on, and as soon as an email came in, ding, came in, boom, response, go. What made it worse was people would then get my response. They tended to be on the computer at the same time, and then they write back right away and say, wow, you're really quick. Like, thank you so much. And that fed the identity, that fed the ego, and I am very fast, exactly, right? There's proof that this thing works. The problem was, I wasn't getting anything important done. I was working on something, and then the notification came in, and I stopped what I was working on to go answer this email, feel great about myself, that little hit, and then come back to my project. Like, what was I working on? And it takes time to start getting back into the flow of working on that thing, and then another email comes in. And so I ended up being busy. I was working all day long, right? Like lunch at the desk, breakfast at the desk, dinner at the desk, all day long, right? Washroom back to the desk. There was no breaks. All day long, straight through. But then I get to the end of the day, end of the week, like, what did I do this week? I don't know. But I answered a lot of emails because I didn't have focus. I didn't have priorities. And when I realized that, after that happened enough times, I realized, wow, I'm never gonna get close to my goals. Like just doing this, all I'm doing is reacting to other people's goals. When somebody shoots me an email, that's what they want. They're demanding my time. And I'm giving it to them freely because I have no defense around my time, because I have no respect around my time. I'm just letting it bleed out. There's no time for me to work on what I want, and so I'm not gonna make any progress on the things that I want. If you wanna make progress on the things that you want, you have to carve out time for the things that you want. That's how it works. And you gotta put gates and blockades and barriers around it and say, this is my focus time and nobody's allowed in. Now, worst case emergencies, family, awesome, but there aren't that many actual emergencies. You have to be willing to let the small balls drop to go for the big goals in your life. You have to pick. You can't do both really well. You have to pick. What do you want to be great at? Do you want to be great at getting every little small thing done and then never do the big thing? Or do you want to be great at getting the big things done and risk losing some of the small things? Because by chasing down the big things, you're going to lose some small things. It's just going to happen. The classic thing for me is media, where reporters would write to me and say, hey, Evan, can you respond to this? We need a response by 2 o'clock today. And they'd send it at 11 o'clock in the morning because they're on these tight deadlines. And I would almost always miss those because I'm working on my videos, because I'm working on my book, because I'm working with my team, because I'm doing something. Or if I was always looking at the emails, it means I'm not doing any of these other big things. And what I'm doing when I'm working on my book or working with my team or working on my videos is awesome, is big, right? Is worthwhile, is meaningful. Those are the big goals I'm chasing down. And so you have to be willing to let go of some of the small things. You will not do both perfectly. And most people are okay giving up their big dreams to do these little small wins on a daily basis. That's the problem. That's where most people live. You're okay sacrificing your big dream, your big goal, because it's always there, because it's going to happen one day, someday in the future. You hope it'll happen, but this thing is very real and right in front of you. These little things, these emails have to get back to. It's uncomfortable to disappoint people. It's uncomfortable to let people down. It's uncomfortable to not respond to somebody for X number of times. It's uncomfortable to turn the notifications off and the FOMO, fear of missing out on something that might impact your business. But that's what you have to do in order to build the business that you want to build. If you have not scheduled in time that has a blockade around it, a focused effort, where this is your priority and nothing gets in the way of it, then that goal of yours to build that thing will never happen. It'll be a dream for life. And then you get to the end of your life and realize that you had all this potential, you could have done something, but you were too afraid to actually go and chase it down. So we need to change that. That's not acceptable. The change is right now, right? That's not the life that we want for ourselves. I'm gonna give you a 3-step process. Follow along and let's change your life. Step number 1, decide on your top 3 goals right now. What are your top 3 goals? Most important things to you right now. What are your priorities? The 3 big things that have to happen for you, what are they? Get clear, get specific. If you don't know what they are, that's why you're not chasing anything big down. If you haven't thought about it, then that's the problem. You're stuck in these small projects for life. What are your 3 big goals for your business and your life right now? Step 2 is map your actions to your ambitions. Whatever you say you want to do will not happen unless it's in your calendar. You need to map your actions, what you're doing, to your ambitions, what you say you want. What you're doing has to lead to what you say you want out of life. You can say you want all this stuff, but if you're not doing the work, you're never gonna get there. And most people live there. You say you want this, but you're doing something totally different over here because it's not on your calendar. You haven't prioritized it. So now it's time to pull out your calendar and map your actions to your ambitions. For those 3 goals, you need to put time in your calendar every week to make progress on them. You have to. Your calendar is never gonna miraculously open up. There's only going to be more people who have demands to your time and want you to react to their life, to their emergencies, to their goals, instead of you fulfilling your own. So pull out your calendar and show yourself where in the week you're going to block off the time to map your actions to your ambitions and make time to make those 3 goals of yours happen. So step 3 is block the time and take small losses for big wins. Physically put into your calendar, this block of time on Monday afternoon I'm spending on XYZ, and I am okay with losing some small losses. I will not be reachable. I might lose a deal. There might be some burn down happening that I can't take charge of. I'm going to disappoint somebody. I'm going to let somebody down, not with intentionally, not on purpose, but it's going to happen. And you're not going to kick yourself for doing it, because what you're going to make that time count. Those 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, however long you're spending working on your goals, you're going to make that time count. You're sacrificing all these small wins that you love going after to make this time count. So use that as pressure, not to feel guilty about yourself for not doing those little small wins and being late and getting back to people, but in saying, I am working on something that's going to change my life. And because of these people who are dependent on me for everything else, and I'm pushing that off, I better make this time count. Use that pressure to drive you forwards instead of backwards. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I want to know, what is your most important goal right now? Let me know in the comments below.
Usually people are distracted and they say, well, I can't stay focused. What they really mean is they're getting a lot of stuff done, but they're not so sure if they are actually doing things that actually produce any results. Does that make a difference? So the key number one to extreme productivity is you need to be absolutely ruthless when it comes to the outcome. What is it you're trying to do? What is it you're trying to create? What's the outcome that you want? Instead of just getting busy, because I believe busyness is also a form of laziness. That is not, just because you're busy, it doesn't mean you're productive. Just because you fill up your calendar with all kinds of stuff to do, it doesn't mean you're producing any results, right? Just because you're splashing in the water, it doesn't mean you're swimming, right? So that's what you want to do. Be absolutely ruthless. Don't just ask, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? How can I do this better? Why am I even doing this at all? Is this important? Can I eliminate this? If I don't do this, would it even make a difference? Would people notice? How would this contribute to my life or to my bottom line as a business? When you are very clear and you are ruthless about the outcome, now guess what? You're more productive. And what you notice is, it doesn't matter what is it that you want to do, whatever result you want to create, the 80-20 rule always applies. Only 20% of what you do contributes to 80% of results. So you constantly want to be thinking about, okay, am I doing the important 20%? Or am I just wasting time with that 80% that actually doesn't matter that much?
If you want to know Mel Robbins' secret to solving all problems in life, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Well, you want to know the secret to helping any human being.